20 left, 16 get paid. I'm in for 3 bullets. All right, heading down to event number 2, another 5K. Ended up with that cash in the first one, made my money back, made my buy-ins back, which isn't so bad, you know, can always be worse. Anytime you cash is good, even though I didn't make much money. I made a few bucks, so just looking to get back in the studio and win the second event today. Feeling good, ready to go.
So level 1 here, I raise queen 10 off in the cutoff. Andrew, Lucky Chewy, Lichtenberger flats behind, and Clemens calls in the big blind. We see a 9-8-6 flop, which gives me a double gutter. We check to Chewy, and he bets 3K. Clemens calls from the big blind. Calling here in my spot is certainly a viable option, but I decide to go the aggressive route and raise to 12,000. Chewy calls, Clemens folds. At this point, Chewy can have a variety of hands like pair plus draw, jack 10, which would be open-ended, even sets that decide to slow play, some 2 pairs. The turn is a 3, bringing a flush draw, but it's a pretty bricky card, not too coordinated. I decide to keep up the aggression and bet out a big bet of 31,000. Chewy lets his hand go pretty quickly, and I win a decent little pot early on.
Yeah, how do you get in on this?
As long as you play the showcase, you're in.
Oh, that's what this... No, I thought that was the other one. This is different or something.
I don't think so. Oh, shit!
Well, it's been a pretty uneventful poker day for me thus far. I'm only in for 1 bullet, which is good, but my stack is dwindling. I pick up 2 aces on the button off 18 big blinds. The cutoff raises, and I decide to play it low-key and just flat here. We go heads up to the flop, and the flop is king 8-3, 2 clubs. The cutoff decides to shut down and just checks to me. I don't feel like I should slow play too much here. I just bet about a third pot. Unfortunately, he just lets it go, and I win a small one with aces.
You went to school for film or something, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Did you ever do anything in it, or?
Yeah, I've got a production company.
You have a what?
Production company.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So you are actively kind of doing stuff with it.
I just started it recently, a couple years ago.
And you're going to make like documentaries or movies or what?
Eventually do some... My buddy really wants to do a poker show.
Mm-hmm.
Poker show? Yeah. So, if anybody can pull it off, somebody who actually plays poker probably could. Sure. Yeah. And knows film.
Right.
So, that's like, he wants to do, and then he's also got like a couple horror and sci-fi things that he wants to do. So right now we're kind of building our resume and kind of attaching ourselves to projects to like legitimize our...
Now, I don't know how many of you watch Rounders, but it was a huge part for me getting into poker. It also is partly responsible for the huge poker boom we saw over 20 years ago. If you want another poker show, if you see my man Andrew here, go talk to him, tell him to quit playing so much poker and get to work on it. He went to film school. He's got a production company. His friend really wants to make a poker show. So, I mean, he's the man. He's the man who can do it. He's unfortunately just made too much poker money in the last couple of years to do anything else. So, but he's our best hope for it. So at this point, registration is closed. I'm still nursing this small stack. There's a raise in early position and a call from Jeremy Becker in the hijack.
Holdem.
Fox. No.
I look down at King Queen suited. I have a little under 15 big blinds. Sure, I could call and see a flop, but I decided I'd rather go all in and hopefully just pick it up pre-flop. So I do just that and am glad to see the opener fold. But when it gets back to Jeremy Becker, he snap calls and he has pocket tens, so we just have a standard race. I don't get it on camera here, but he does stand up, and some in the poker world claim it ups your chances of winning by about 5%. I'm not sure I buy that. Some think it's true, though. Anyways, maybe it worked for him this time. I get no help. I'm out the door and have a free evening on my hands. All right, so let's pick this up in level 2. We have ace-queen offsuit on the button. Lucky Chewy limps in the hijack. He doesn't have a lot of chips. He has about 14 big blinds. Certainly he'll have some traps here, but he'll also just have a lot of hands that want to see the flop. I raise. He decides to put it all in. Very easy call here. And we'll play our first all-in pot, although we aren't all in. He's all in. We lose. He doubles. It's 21-5. And we continue on.
I'm grumpy? Really? I feel like I'm the opposite.
I feel like he's not very grumpy.
Thank you.
You're playing grumpy, but
I mean, he complains, but it's kind of like it's a bit he's running.
Grumpy?
There's grumpier people, that's for sure, in this room. I mean, definitely.
I feel like I'm one of the more positive.
You're up to you,
yeah,
Jay.
you are, but I mean, it's both.
Apparently not. Apparently I'm grumpy.
Okay, I don't know how to describe it. There's something about it.
So in level 3, we see Jeremy Becker raising the hijack. Wantman calls in the cutoff. Victoria calls on the button. I look down at 2 tens and about 35 big blinds. I could make a small 3-bet. I'm definitely not going to just call. I'm putting in more money one way or another. I decide that going all in is the best play. Becker gives it some deliberation and calls with ace-jack suited, and the other 2 fold, so we go heads up and another flip. He beat me the last flip, last tournament to bust me. I think it's probably my turn to win this one. And he does flop a flush draw and 2 overs. He's a bit of a favorite on the flop, but he bricks out, and I get a nice double up.
God damn it.
Too many odds. Classic, too many outs.
And here in level 4, Wantman raises the cutoff.
And here it comes. He's going for the kill.
Minimum. We have king 9 of diamonds in the big blind. We have an easy call here. We do flop top pair here. King 10 deuce rainbow. We have a backdoor flush draw. We check. He makes a standard c-bet. I think this hand is good enough to just raise right away. We have a decent kicker. We have backdoor diamonds. The stacks are not very deep. I'm comfortable getting all the money in if we need be. He bet 3,500. I made it 10,000. He calls. Turn is a brick, a 5, offsuit 5. I decide to keep the aggression going. I bet 20K. He calls. River is a queen. At this point, our hand doesn't look all that strong. We still have top pair, but the thing is, there's only about a third of the pot left to play here. He has about 17K or so in his stack. I think it's good enough to just put it in here with my 9 kicker. We hope to get called by a 10 or maybe a queen that river to pair, like ace queen or queen jack. So we put it all in, and he ends up folding, and we pick up the pot. Jeremy Becker raises an early position to 6K. He gets a call in late position. I have ace-jack offsuit in the small blind. I decide to re-raise here. Now it gets back to Becker, and he's playing a little over 40 big blinds. And he does decide to put in a very big re-raise. Essentially, it's just like he's shoving his whole stack in. And it's fold back around to me, and I have to kind of decide what I want to do here. He starts talking quite a lot.
Yeah, I didn't think this one through too much on what we're keeping back. I'm not going anywhere.
I don't know what you guys think here about his commentary, if it's weak, if it's strong. I decide my hand is just a touch too weak to go with here, so I decide to forfeit the pot to Jeremy Becker. So a few minutes later in the same blind level, we see Victoria raise in the low jack. And an unknown gentleman 3-bets to 17K in the hijack. I look down at 2 kings on the button. Clearly I'm going to be 4-betting this. It's a little too strong to just shove, so I like just putting in a small 4-bet here. I make it 32K. Victoria ends up folding, and it gets back to the unknown gentleman. He decides to call. We see a flop of Jack 9-7 with 2 clubs. I do not have any clubs. I think this board is pretty coordinated to some hands. He might have 3-bet, like some suited Broadway hands, and then calls a small 4-bet. So I do decide I have about a pot-sized bet. I just decide to stick it all in there. And he thinks for a little bit of time and then calls with a set. And I don't have many outs and I don't hit them, and I'm off to the rebuy cage. So my re-entry here is going quite poorly. I have a pathetic 5 big blind somehow, just getting chipped down and down and down. I pick up the 8-5 offsuit in the big blind. There's a raise in the cutoff minimum. My hand is pretty ugly, but when you're this short, you have to start taking some chances. I flick in the call, and we see a flop of queen 8-4, flopping me middle pair. I decide to just move the rest of my stack in. He calls with king 10, and I end up holding for a nice little double up. A couple hands later at the same table, we see a limp in the hijack. I decide to limp behind with 9-8 of clubs. It's pretty rare to see 3 people limp in these tournaments, but here we are. The big blind checks, and we'll go to the flop 4-way. The flop is queen jack 4. It's check to me. I decide to put in a little bet here and see if I can just take it down. I have a gut shot to the bad side, albeit, but only the big blind calls. The turn is an ace. I think I can put a lot of pressure on, bottom pair and a pair of jacks here. So I decide to continue the aggression here. I think checking would have been completely fine too, but I don't have many outs just to try to take a free card. I decide to bet. I bet 20,000, and luckily he decides to fold.
He had all them chips the other day. How'd you finish? You got 8th, bud. 8th? I didn't know. I'm not trying to be funny. I thought you might have won it. Didn't accuse you with the 8th is nothing to scout at. It's money. It's in the money. I guarantee you. Top 8, this you get money. And look at this. Hello, we got a raise here. 19. 17,000. Hey, at least you got the money. I think you barely. Okay. It was a battle. What a hell of a battle it can be when you're at a feature table. You can see. Woo, here's your one back.
That was 20 and 20.
All righty. Back over to seat number 5 here.
That would have had to be a record, right? 3 straight stone bubbles would have been pretty.
He's made the call.
Like the same building.
Made that call.
3 days in a row.
That's okay.
You were live for it, right? You were all in at risk. I was. I had 3 BBs.
You almost stone bubbled 3 in a row?
Yeah, that's
We're gonna get a snack.
snack time.
Yeah, but it's gonna go here. There's your snack here for you.
So what'd you win? The seat to the Venetian main? The 5K?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
I say Venetian.
Yeah,
I've been saying that
yeah,
every
resort.
single time. I don't know why I do that, but I know it's that every
I hear
resort.
last year it was almost first place was almost 800,000. That's what.
Yeah, it was a big tournament.
765,000 for first.
Yeah.
Who got 7?
You did? Masato was there, right?
He fucking owns me every time. Yeah.
Well, he's probably better at poker
You got
than
7
you.
from that?
I'll make sure. I'll make sure you don't have to worry.
I know you might be confused because you might see me all sorts of 25 KFT where I got 5th, but no.
Yeah, I can see how, yeah.
Rock, I'll take care of that
I'll
guy.
go
Who's
later.
that up for you? How's that? I'll take him out.
So a little later in the evening, the big blind is all the way up to 10,000 now. I have a little over 10 big blinds in the big blind. The low jack min raises. I have an easy defend here with queen 8 of hearts. The flop looks pretty good to me. It's 5-5-3 with 2 hearts. I check, and there's a small C bet thrown out there by my opponent. I decide to just move all in. I could make a small raise. I could call. I could do a number of things here. I move all in, and I do get called pretty quickly by ace high, and they do have the ace of hearts, which is unfortunate. But fortunately, the 8 comes on the river, and I get a double up.
Goes your way.
So in this hand, I have about 27 big blinds to start. I'm on the button. Sam Leskowitz raises in the hijack. I have ace 10 offsuit. I decide to put in a 3-bet with this one to 50,000. He calls. We see a flop of 7-5-3 with 2 spades. He checks. I bet 25% pot. He calls. The turn is an 8 of spades, so the flush completes. There's not really any. I mean, I'm not worried about 6-9 here. He's not going to have anything like that at these stack depths. So, but 8-7 suited gets there for 2 pairs. So it's not the best turn for my range. I do decide to check back. I have the ace of spades, which is pretty key, and I wouldn't hate it if I just followed through with a bet. I do decide to check back this time. The river's a jack. He checks again. At this point, I think his most likely holding is a hand like maybe ace-7 suited, pocket sixes, something like that, ace-5 suited. Feels like one pair type hand. Most likely he would have bet flushes or 2 pairs. So at this point, I feel like I probably never have the best hand, but I have a good bluffing candidate, and the river is a decent card to bluff as it's a jack. I'm not going to be going all in when I river a jack all that often, but if I have an ace of spades or a king of spades with it, I might do so. So I decide to just go for it. I have about a pot-sized bet left, and I go all in. He ends up folding the hand. Pick up a nice one. So the very next hand, I pick up pocket queens in the cutoff. Of course I raise. Leskowitz defends his big blind. The flop is 6-3 deuce. He checks. I size up considerably here and bet 80,000. He calls. Turn is a 4. Completes some straights and it brings a flush draw. Now I don't have a lot of 5x here in the cutoff, and he has lots of it after check calling a bet on the flop. So he leads 50K here. I'm getting a pretty good price. I still have the overpair. The board's a little scary, but I'm not ready to give this one up. So I slide in the calling chips. The river's a 9. He checks. I can probably consider going for value here. We are getting close to the money. You need to be a little more careful when that sort of stuff happens. I do decide to check, and he shows ace-4, and I pick up another nice pot.
Yeah, I'm in a good mood.
All in.
All in.
250.
See how I did the bluff call?
Yeah, I kind of thought it was a bluff call, honestly. I just out of the corner of my eyes, like, I think this means he's not going to call. That was my gut reaction.
Good at it, honestly.
And I've just seen it. I've seen it so much that I can spot it from 1 mile away. You don't do it much?
No, I do it and I call, but I don't bluff it, so I'm not used to it. You probably picked up something on me.
Something, I don't know. I just felt like it was going to be a
For my
fake.
POV, I thought it was fold.
You thought it was a fold too? You thought it, but you saw him doing it. You thought it was a fake. Yeah, we're onto your fake. We're onto your fake shit, man.
First instinct was the fold.
So as the night wears on, here we find ourselves very near the money. 17 are left in this tournament, 15 pay. The min cash is $20,200. We pick up a pretty premium hand in the cutoff, king, queen of spades, off about 15 big blinds. Leskowitz has chipped up pretty considerably and has one of the biggest stacks in the room. He can put a lot of pressure on me if I just make a normal raise. He can do a lot of shoving, put the pressure back on me because it's the money bubble, just big stack bully stuff. I decide to just shove to bypass all of that. Unfortunately, I do run into a big hand as he has ace queen in the big blind, and I get no help, and I'm out 2 from the money. No fun.
There you go. Good luck, guys. All right, so just busted in 17th place, 15 pay. Never fun. Shove the king queen suited. Kind of a close spot. If I have a few more chips, I don't shove. If I have a few less, it's like very easy shove. There's a couple of shorter stack, so min cash was like 2x to buy in. So it happens, you know. Played about 8.5 hours and in for 2 bullets, so lost a little over 20k for the day. So just another day in the life of a tournament professional. All good. Back at it tomorrow.
So the second 10K of the PGT Poker Masters was very uneventful. I did get through on 1 bullet, but as you see, my stack is dwindling. Not much is happening. Kind of interesting here. Re-entries just closed, and one guy at this table, Andrew, has about 10 to 15 starting stacks. No one else at the table has over a starting stack of 125,000. So I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Pretty wild. He ends up opening in early position. I have pocket 8s in the small blind, and I don't really have a choice but to go all in here. He begrudgingly calls. He's kind of priced in given the shortness of my stack. He has ace-7 suited. He gets an ace, and I'm out the door for early night.
See you guys. All right, so that's it for event number 4, the second 10K. Fired 1 bullet today, kind of ran it up early, just couldn't really get too much going, so back at it tomorrow. Yeah, it was a good turnout today. Had like 112 players or something, which is a very good turnout, so be back tomorrow. All right, I'm almost to the Aria. I'm on the beautiful Las Vegas Boulevard Strip, a couple blocks away. Have event number 5 today. Another 10K. This is the third 10K. There's 2 5Ks, third 10K. Cash 1 out of 4, which isn't bad, but I am losing because I cashed a small one for not a lot of money. So anything can happen. I can still win the purple jacket, move up on the leaderboard. So just takes a tournament or 2 to get things going. So looking to do that today. Hello, I'm videoing you. Everyone's gonna be videoed all the time now.
8-7.
Even Tim, especially Tim.
We didn't consent to this.
Especially Tim.
We did not consent.
They did. Okay, 8-7. I won't put you on that.
So in level 1 here, I've lost a few chips. I'm down to about 95,000 from 125,000 starting stack. I pick up pocket queens on the button, and the cutoff has opened. I, of course, 3-bet my queens. He 4-bets, and I could certainly call here, but I just decide to put him all in. I think he can have enough bluffs and enough, you know, overcard type hands that I want to get out and hope to stack something like jacks or 10s, 9s. He does end up folding begrudgingly, and people debate if I have a bluff or a real hand.
Ooh, he's bluffing.
Kings?
I love
You
this.
used to have kings all the time.
Really? You
says
think Jimmy
kings,
that
man.
tight?
It says
Come on,
kings.
bro. No. Just ace queen off.
I should have.
What about my kings? What do you think? I fold?
I could be king.
We went to Turning Stone back when I was. I got an underage Hendon mob.
You do? You're underage on there?
Yeah, look at my brother.
Where did you play underage?
Turning
Turning
Stone.
Stone?
I was 17. I was almost like.
Yeah, you're pretty much there. You were intellectually mature enough you should have been allowed to gamble. Damn it.
Drove all the way up from DC and like did not sleep. It was not safe just to chase some registration for some underage spot to use my brother's as innings. At the final table, they offered a chop. I was the only one to say no, and then they're like, "I do this kid." And I was freaking out.
Serves you right. Punk
Then they're like,
kid.
"We're just joking," and I'm like,
They were just kidding. They didn't
I don't
really.
think so, but I got ghosted away, so I think they felt bad.
So the big blind is 3,000 now. My friend who I 5-bet earlier opens again on the button. I'm excited to look down at pocket kings and I can 3-bet. The big blind who's Steven Song goes all in. Button folds. Obviously an easy call here. And my kings hold against his queens. And I get a nice double up.
It's not aces, but it's not aces. I got a call though, right? What do you think?
Can't lay down with Cowboys.
So in this hand, I'm on the button with 10-9 suited. And the cutoff raise, pretty easy flat here at this stack depth, which is about 60 big blinds. Chino comes along in the big blind, and the flop is king 6-3, bringing 2 spades, giving me a flush draw. It's checked around to me. I don't have to bet this, but I do decide to bet a small amount, hoping to take it down. Chino calls, the pre-flop raiser folds. River's an ace, bringing 2 spades and 2 clubs. He checks again, and I decide his range can just be pretty weak, containing most one-pair type hands, low straight draws, enough hands that I think I can just get him to fold and pick this pot up. So I fire out a nice bet and pick up the pot after he folds.
But it was like a long grind, and then Jeremy's going nuts on the block. I got 20 darted in it. Let's see, Jeremy's ace-7 off.
Okay, I've chipped up pretty nicely, and I get moved to a new table with a cast of new villains, one of them being Texas Mike. Leskowitz opens in the hijack. I flat ace deuce of diamonds in the cutoff. It folds around to Texas Mike, and he moves all in for 108,000. So about 22 big blinds. Leskowitz folds. Now it's back on me. With ace deuce of diamonds here, this isn't a hand typically one would call, but the hands I call depend completely on the hands that Mike will shove here. And I've played with Mike enough to know he gets a little squirrely in the rebuy periods when he's filling it. So I decide ace high is plenty good to go with here. He flips over king 9 offsuit, and I lose. But it was a good spot. On to the next hand.
108.5.
Okay, the very next hand I pick up another suited ace. This one a little better with a 6. I raise. Texas Mike once again goes all in. It's folded back around to me. Now this situation is a little different. He doesn't have 20 big blinds anymore. He has over 40. So maybe he's decided to calm down. The trick here is deciding if he's still going to be going all in really wide and trying to build a stack, or if he's decided his 250k is enough. I decide he can have enough bad hands in his range that I should just call the ace-6 suited again. I call, I'm showing pocket threes, and it's a classic flip, which I do not win, and I have to re-enter. And Mike has successfully built a nice stack. And after re-entering, I have a new table, and within just a few minutes, an unexpected player sits down with a new fresh stack, and that's Texas Mike. He just had 450,000 last time I saw him, but he lost a 8 or 900k pot apparently to the guy to his left, and now he has a starting stack just like I do.
All in pre?
Yeah.
So a little while later, I find myself in the big blind with a little under starting stack, and at this point it's about 15 big blinds. I have 7-6 offsuit. The button raises to a little over a minimum raise, which makes it a little harder to defend, but I decide that my 7-6 is still good enough to call, even though reentry period is closed at this point. The flop is 9-4-3 with 2 diamonds. I check, the button checks back. The turn is a 7, giving me second pair. I decide to bet about half pot and put immediate pressure on pairs below mine, 5, 6s, deuces, maybe a hand like ace 4, ace 3, king 4 suited, king 3 suited, protect from overcards like queen jack, king queen, things like that. I think this bet accomplishes all those things. He calls, and the river is a 9. Now, in my mind, this is a very safe card. I expect him to bet nearly all of his 9s on the flop. So I consider my hand, even though it's just second pair with a bad kicker, pretty much the nuts at this point. His play is consistent with ace high, maybe a pair lower than 7. So the pot's about 70,000 and I have 62,000, and I decide to wager almost all my chips. I save a couple in case he calls. I have a chance to survive. And he thinks for quite some time and does end up calling. I table my hand, and it's good for pretty much a double up, which is nice. All right, a couple levels later, I find myself in the big blind with about 20 big blinds, and I look down at ace king with the king of hearts. Cary Katz is in the small blind, and he limps in. I must raise here, try to charge him, or hope he even goes all in or re-raises, something like that. I'd be happy to see. He would do that with a lot worse hands than ace king. He calls my raise, and we see a flop of 8-4 deuce with 2 hearts. He checks. I make a standard continuation bet. He decides to call. Now the turn is a 9 of hearts, and it gets quite interesting here as Cary Katz thinks for a while and then just leads all in. I don't know what to think of this exactly. It's, if you're looking at plays that like a solver would make, it would never do something like this. So you have to try to get into the head of the man. And to me, it kind of seems like he just has a draw or something that he wants to get me to fold. I think a hand like Jack 10 with a heart makes sense, or Queen 10 with a heart. I think he would call a small c-bet on the flop. And it's enough equity where he just kind of wants to get all in on the turn. Maybe some weird random 2 pairs. I don't think he has too many big hands, given that he check called on the flop, but I could be wrong. As backup, when I am wrong, I do have the king of hearts here, so I have a flush draw. If he does have 1 pair type hand, I can make a higher pair. So it's not a great spot, and the bet is quite large, around the pot size bet, but I do decide that he might be messing around enough that I could just have the best hand and have outs if not. So he goes all in, I call, he tables pocket 4s, which is one of the worst things I could see. So nevertheless, I still have heart outs. I brick, he busts me from the tournament, and that's all for me.
Good hand. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. I didn't see you trying to fist bump me. I wouldn't leave you hanging. Good hand.
Seat open 5.
Kind of an annoying way to bust. No pair, just a draw against Cary there, but he's pretty capable of just showing up with a lot of stuff, I think. So I think I'm okay with it. I have outs, probably no matter what he has. So that was one of the worst case scenarios, I think. Just a weird hand, very unorthodox. Just shoves for over pot on the flush completer. So anyways, whatever. Live and learn. I think sometimes I'm just going to see a draw there, a pair, or a straight draw plus flush draw type hand, something like that. So I think I'm all right with it. I'll be back tomorrow.
First interesting hand in level 1, we have Queen Jack offsuit on the button. Of course, we're going to raise. My Brazilian pal Zhao calls out of the small blind. The board comes 10-6-4 with 2 spades, and the flop goes check-check. The turn is an ace. He checks again. This time I decide to represent that I hit the ace and bet 3K into 7K with my gut shot. I think I'll get a lot of folds from lower pairs, maybe some suited King X that's ahead of me. He calls. The river is gin for me. It does complete the flush, but I do have the nut straight. He checks. I size up. I bet 150% pot, 20,000. He tanks for a while, puts in the call. I win a nice pot right away. And in level 2, we get into a pretty interesting hand. Victoria raises the hijack, I flat in the cutoff with ace-6 of spades. It goes over to Doug Lee out of the big blind, and he 3-bets. The sizing he uses is pretty small. The original raise was 3,500, and he made it 10-5. Victoria calls. You know, my hand will be dominated a fair amount, but I'm getting a good price. We're fairly deep, and I do have position, so I decide to flick in the call and see a flop. The flop is 8-7-4, rainbow. I have a backdoor flush draw and a gut shot. Doug continues here. He bets 7K into 32, so pretty small bet here. I anticipate this board to not be favorable for him. It's more in the range of what Victoria and I would be calling. Victoria folds, and I have a pretty clear continue, getting a great price and position. The turn pairs the 6 for me, and I would expect this to slow down the pre-flop raiser quite a lot, as 10-9 even gets there. Any 5's a straight. There's a lot of random 2 pairs. Doug decides to bet 15K into 45K, a third pot. Now, I don't beat much of the value hands he would be betting here, but I do feel like this bet is just a little fishy given the scariness of this board, and he's the pre-flop 3-better. Sure, he should have some, tricky stuff that contain a 5 once in a while, but I decide I'm not going to fold this hand, so I call again on the turn. The river brings in the flush. The 2 of hearts on the turn brought a flush draw. So now I feel like this heavily favors my range versus his range. He checks, and it's clear I do have a little bit of showdown value here. I can beat like ace king and ace queen. I'm not sure those would bet the turn. I decide this board is just too good for my range and position here, and he's going to be in a very tough spot with overpairs. And that's some of the more likely hands he's going to have. So I move all in. He doesn't think too long, gives it up, and I pick up a nice pot, which I might have had the best hand. We'll never know.
Huh? That one might make it, yeah.
Okay, in level 3, I pick up pocket jacks under the gun, which is the low jack. I get 2 callers in position, and when it gets to Jesse Lonis in the big blind, he makes it 24-5, so I had made it 5K. Now, given that there's 2 callers, there's a decent chance he could just be squeezing, trying to take it down with a hand like ace-jack, king-queen, maybe king-10 suited type of hand. I'm not super excited about this, but I kind of don't want to call and let 2 people in behind me either. I decide Jesse can have some hands that I'm even ahead of for value. I decide to shove. The 2 players in position fold. It gets back to Jesse. He tables his hand, and I see the bad news. He has aces, and I get stacked. So off to the rebuy cage.
250
Yeah, you got me.
Sure.
I'm back.
I already gave
55.
God damn. Jesse? Bullshit. So he doesn't always have aces. Maybe my shove was okay. I didn't think he could have just aces.
Just like you.
I was thinking it surely wasn't just queens and kings and aces, but I don't know.
Okay, here I am back in the same seat. We're in level 6. I have a little over 100K, which is just over 25 big blinds. Pocket 7s is a standard raise here. I raise, and David Coleman in the small blind raises to 24K from my 8K. And it gets to Doug Lee, who slides in the call. So some people this shallow just won't have a cold call 3-bet range here. they'll either fold or put in a re-raise themselves. So I just kind of have to figure out the best that I can what he might have. Some things that come to mind are some big suited cards, maybe some mid-pocket pairs, maybe some traps. Not sure about that. If he had folded, I was going to just be all in, I think, against David Coleman in the small blind. I decide there is just some dead money out there now. It's not completely dead, but I think it looks quite strong here, and Doug isn't going to call with like 2 Broadway cards or maybe even 8s or, hands like that. So I do decide to move all in. It's very marginal, pretty questionable, but I go with it. Coleman thinks for a while and also goes all in. Now Doug is facing 2 all-ins and he decides to fold. Looks like a lot of strength. I flip over my 7s. David Coleman has ace jack of spades. So we both were kind of at the bottom of our ranges here. David made a good call, and he is rewarded. Ace in the window. No help for me. So on to the 3rd bullet for me.
Nice hand, nice hand.
You got the best hand ever.
Yeah, I did. I did my job. Just the deck, man.
All you can do is get the best hand.
Just this deck. Sorry, you're not in the hand, are you?
No, man.
All right, and on to my next bullet here. I'm down to about 83,000. Look down at 2 7s in the hijack once again. Same hand, same position. It's folded around to Brock Wilson. And he quickly moves all in from the small blind. It's only about 10 big blinds. He very easy call with 7s. He has the ace-9. Very bad flop for me, 9-4-4. Turn brings a deuce. I have 2 outs only, but I hit it on the river. So sorry to my poor buddy here, but he's out of here.
Now film him walking away. Yeah, film him walking away.
9-4-4. What was it? 9-4-4?
9 deuce deuce. 9-4-4 deuce 7. Right, Brock?
1-4.
A few hands later, the same level, I play this hand with Landon Tice.
This is going to be an all-in showdown.
I am the big blind. He raises the hijack. He covers me by quite a bit. I have nearly 30 big blinds to start the hand. I have jack-8 offsuit. I call. The flop is 10-8-4, giving me middle pair. I check. He bets 11K. I call. Turn is a 3, bringing a flush draw. I check again. He continues with 30K into 52K. You can consider folding middle pair, bottom pair, something like that. I think versus a bigger size, I might have to fold, but getting a pretty good price here, I decide to call with a middle pair. River is great for me, giving me 2 pairs. I check to him. He puts me all in for 90K, which is about 85% pot. I don't waste too much time, and I call, and he just has the air ball, ace, deuce, and I get a full double up.
I would have. I mean, if I had queens, I would have. Yeah.
We are in level 8. We are joined by our friend Martin Zamani, who takes the big blind.
Zamani, show the cards. Come on. He shows the ace queen.
I pick up ace king offsuit on the button, playing a little over 20 big blinds, make a standard raise. Gets to Martin, he has a huge stack, throws in a pile of purple, which covers my stack. I call, he has ace jack suited. Flop comes jack high. This is my last bullet, probably going to be out. But again, on the river, I hit my card. That's a king. So I get a very nice double this time.
Yeah, your girlfriend got pushed down or something in Barcelona?
She got mugged. I mean, they tried to mug her. We were like, it was like right in the city too.
Yeah, that's what
It was like,
is it just daylight?
yeah, like 3 p.m. with like thousands of people around.
That's wild.
I went down to like get the car from the car rental guy. He was like showing me where it is, and she like waited on the steps for like our other 2 friends to like point to them where we are. And then as I was coming up the steps, I see her, and then I hear her yell, "What the fuck?" And she's like spinning around, and some guy who looks like me is trying to mug her. He's trying to mug her, and I'm fucking chasing this guy, and she's like holding on to her bag.
He didn't get it?
No.
Wow.
She's tough.
Yeah.
She's quite fucked up though.
She was like rattled.
I mean, she was like
Or
pretty
beat
bruised though.
up.
Like she got,
Oh, really?
She got like thrown to the floor, yeah.
Wow.
And she was like pretty scraped on her leg.
I hear so many stories. Like
Usually
I've heard
it's
it
not violent.
I've heard it for years and years.
Yeah, me too.
But
Just-
then
just
this
pick
year I
up
was there and
areas,
it was I walked everywhere and it was just fine ever, you know.
Yeah, that's usually
run
how I
into
feel
anything.
too.
This is heads up, right?
Yes.
I call.
I was chasing a guy for like a block and a half though, yelling, "Get him!" You know, and a couple of people were trying to grab him, and then he's like going into these alleys, and I'm just like, I don't know how far I'm supposed to chase this guy or
Yeah.
What did they
Barcelona.
get?
He didn't
Barcelona.
get anything. He was like my girl like held on to her purse.
So he didn't even get anything. You're still chasing him?
Yeah, what do you mean? Oh.
But yet you're running in
What do you mean? Why
Barcelona
wouldn't I
all
chase
day.
him? You don't think I wanted to fuck him up?
But you're yelling in English?
Yeah, I'm yelling. Everyone in Barcelona
No
speaks
wonder
English.
nobody helped you.
No, people try.
I know. My daughter.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't I chase after him? Like, I try to get him. This is my moment. I get to like eat an eyeball.
I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
All right, we're on break. 20 left, 16 get paid. I'm in for 3 bullets. Not ideal. It happens. So it'd be nice to get 20K back at least. Maybe more. So have under 20 bigs, so I'll need to do something. I'm one of the shorter stacks, so hopefully I can run good here. What's Cary have? What do they have? Cary won again? Cary won?
No, he lost.
Oh, he lost.
Wait,
You're gonna split it, maybe.
split it, Cary.
Yeah. Nice job, Cary.
I just got like 10K.
Yeah.
For free.
Several uneventful hours have gone by, and I am down to 9 big blinds. We had a very long bubble, but we are in the money now, so I'm guaranteed at least 21.8. I am in for 31,000 roughly, so I'm still down 10 or 11,000. That's okay. I'm in the hijack. I have ace 10 offsuit, 9 big blinds, nothing to do but go all in. Sam Soverel to my left calls. Martin Zamani decides to move all in with his very large stack. That is kind of good and bad for me. Number one, it might force Sam to fold, and I can get it heads up with a lot of dead money in the pot. On the other hand, this signals a lot of strength from Zamani, so I'm very unlikely to be in good shape. Maybe a coin flip, and as he flips over his hand, I get the best case scenario. It is a coin flip, and I do flop top pair. He does not improve, and I get over a triple up to 30 big blinds or so. So here we are in the big blind. Small blind limps. We have about 25 big blinds to play in our stack. The small blind covers us. We look down at 3-4 offsuit. I decide to check. We catch a great flop, Jack 4-4, giving us trips. There is a flusher out there. He check calls a third pot on the flop. The turn is an ace, bringing another flush draw. So there's 2 flush draws. He checks. We size up here on the turn and go full pot. I definitely don't want to check and give a free card. I want to charge the maximum to a jack. He ends up calling. The river is a 10 of diamonds, completes the backdoor flush, does complete a straight with king queen. That's fairly unlikely. And he checks. There's about 400k in the pot, and we're playing a little over 500k. I think the best thing to do here is just to put most of the money in. I save a little back just in case I'm beat. He tanks for a while, ends up folding. We pick up a nice little pot here, and within a few hands of this, there are only 11 left, which means we made a couple pay jumps. We are now getting $32,700, so that means that we are at least break even on the day. And just a few hands later, we are dealt pocket kings in the hijack. We have a little under 20 big blinds as the big blind has moved up to 30,000. We raise. We get 2 callers in position, Sam Soverel on the cutoff and Martin Zamani on the button. And we go 3-way to the flop, which is ace 5-3, 2 diamonds. Obviously not the best flop we're looking for with pocket kings. I think the clear play is to check here. Gets to Martin and he bets about a quarter pot. Now obviously there's an ace out there, which isn't ideal. Also 5s and 3s are probably in his range. That being said, he is incentivized to just take some random stabs on the flop here in position after he sees 2 checks. So I think our hand's a little too strong to not see the turn at least. I call. Unfortunately, behind me, Sam also calls. Seems ever more likely that I do not have the best hand with my pocket kings. Although there are flush draws out there, or he could have a lower pair. The turn is a queen, and we see 3 checks. The river brings an 8. The flush does not get there. I just really want to get to showdown with this hand. Hope my kings hold up. It's not too likely. I check, Sam checks, Martin checks, and I flip over the kings, which does appear to be the winner. So I pick up a nice pot here with 11 left.
We stop paying for hand on this page.
Oh, come on, I have the weed delivery coming. We can't stall this any longer. Let's go, Doug Lee.
All in over there?
Yeah.
7 faces, 7 twins.
Really?
No one busted?
Doug Lee is back, man.
Never left.
Never left.
He's legit like on every 2003 ESPN.
Yeah, you remember?
No,
you know?
I feel like I've never seen him before. I was probably like, heard the name. I was in high school at the time, dude. Like that was that was awesome. Like watching that stuff.
I was in college, but yeah, it was great. Like the U.S. Poker Championship, and I forget what else, but probably WSOP coverage, all the stuff. Yeah.
Funny thing is, it literally looks like he hasn't aged.
No, I know.
Exactly the same.
Yes, I said that exact thing. Looks exactly the same.
Dude, you're right. If I remember the Helmuth hand, I would have came on it. But this is Queen 4. I don't know what's going on. Jimmy's about to jam. Jimmy jam. Okay. Yeah, let me put the small line in.
Jimmy Jam gets through. Good game, Todd.
And the blinds have gone up once again. There's 8 players left at this point. I am on the button with 460,000. The big blind is 40,000. I look down at ace jack offsuit. Very clear decision here. Nothing to do but go all in. Put maximum pressure on the bigger stacks to my left. Unfortunately, I do get the call from Alex Foxen.
There is the jam.
In the big blind, who has a pocket pair of 6s. There is quite a bit of waiting here as we are playing hand for hand with the other table. Anytime there's an all-in to call, we have to wait for the other table. So quite a bit of back and forth here waiting for us to see the run out.
But the reason I think I'm going to win is because when I peeled the first 6, I was so sure the second one was going to be a 6. And it was like spooky. Like, I feel like usually If you had me covered, that memory would make me think that I lose. But since I cover you, it's
Okay.
feels like I win. But maybe I'm misinterpreting.
I think we should consult Chewy about this.
Explain
Chewy is the one to
that
talk
both of you
about.
think right now.
Chewy's definitely the one who knows the answer. You know why I might win though?
I want to hear
It's my initials. It's my look.
You know how many times
Look.
I've seen Jason Kuhn mention that with King Jack and he loses every hand?
And the board runs out with a 6, unfortunately. Another 6 on the river, which also doesn't matter, but puts a smile on Foxen's face to bust me and make quad 6s. So that will be it for me in this tournament. I bust in 8th place for $43,600. Did turn a little profit on the day. Could be worse.
All right, bust in 8th place. In for 3 bullets, but I did make a little money. Cash was like 44. I was in for 31, so could be worse. The thing about these series or any series is how, you know, it's like almost midnight, so you just get very worn out, very tired. So then you have to go home and try to sleep, and oftentimes you can't, and then you have to come back the next day and play. So these series are only 10 days, something like that, but if you do go deep and put up some results, especially in numerous events, you can get very tired. So haven't experienced that yet, but we'll see how tonight goes.